Hi guys, what's up? It's Callan. Today I wanted to talk about coming home early from Rotary Youth Exchange. I wanted to make a video not because I think that I owe anyone an explanation. I don't. I'm simply making this video for the people who have reached out to me and are involved with Rotary and are involved and invested in my experience. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, my name's Callan McDonough. I'm 17 years old. I am graduated from high school and I went on exchange to Italy this year for the 2017-2018 school year. And yeah, I came home 4 months early. I got home on February 22nd. I've been home for about 2 weeks now, and I needed that time. I really did. I needed time to get a little perspective before I filmed this video. I never ever in a million years thought I would come home. Before I deleted my Instagram, I would get like a lot of messages from people who are like, I love your videos, like you inspire me to be an exchange student, like, or they would be exchange students and come to me with questions or advice, and it was just like really difficult to make this video because I know that so many people look up to me for like exchange videos, and I felt weird about it because I've made videos on this channel where I'm being like completely real. Like I made the highs and lows of exchange. You know, some of my monthly updates have been like not the happiest updates, but my January update was super great, super happy, and so a lot of people were like really shocked that I came home. I didn't tell a lot of people right away. Like my friends and family back home totally understood, but within the program, yeah, like a lot of people were really shocked. I'm sure a lot of you who watch my videos are also shocked. And here's the thing, you guys, like, it's your life, you know, these choices are not set in stone. Everything you do is your choice. I'm a firm believer in doing what makes you happy, and doing whatever makes you happy is okay. And I think sometimes it does take a lot more to be like, I'm not happy in this situation, I need to change it, than to just stay in that situation. I still think that this is a really great program, but I came home early. So I kind of want to talk about it and really be open about it. And I really think that my experiences can really help you guys. But for me, like if you're a stranger and you watch my videos and you don't know me, it's kind of like weird because I'm like selling this program and now I'm home. And so I don't want you guys to think that like everything I said before is invalid or I didn't mean what I said. I don't want you to think that just because I came home, everything I did in Italy, everything I felt in Italy, everything I learned was invalid. And I guess that's kind of a lesson for all of you guys. Like, if you come home from exchange, that doesn't mean that your exchange was invalid or that the time that you had there didn't count. Also, to clarify, I decided to come home. I didn't get sent home. I know a lot of people get sent home for like drinking or drugs or whatever. I personally decided to come home for reasons I will expand on. I just want to go in depth in this video. Is that okay with you guys? Like, just, I don't want to like be cheesy YouTuber, but you know, grab a snack, do whatever. But I really want to go in depth about this because I don't want you guys to question me or think that like I wasn't being honest in my other videos, especially for the people who only know me from those videos, like only know me from my exchange videos. I really need to like clear this up. I know there aren't many videos like this on YouTube, so I thought it would be really important for me to make this video and bring awareness to something. So I get placed in a town called Cesena, Italy, near Rimini, and I think, okay, like this is great, whatever. And then, you know, I get there, I'm in my Liceo Linguistico school, and everything is like going really well for the first couple months, and then I hit like the end of November, beginning of December, and that was like the worst depression I felt in a really long time. And I like was not homesick, I was just so low, and I felt like really alone, obviously, because you are, but I also felt like a different type of alone. School was very destimulating for me. I would go 5 hours a day, not understand anything. I'm learning Russian, German, and French, in Italian, in a language school. So I'm not participating for 5 hours every single day. My brain is just like completely destimulated. So that was like one of the big things, is the school that I went to was a really like top school, and I had to like pay attention, but pay attention. I mean, like, I basically daydreamed for 5 hours every single day, and I don't think like people understand how destimulating that is. And I tried as hard as I could to like be involved and to be present in school, but like I developed extreme anxiety. I like could not focus on school, and I've talked about this in videos before. Like, you can go back and watch. I've definitely talked about school. But I just thought, okay, like, all exchange students go through this, it's fine. I couldn't say anything because it was December, and they tell you that you naturally like slope down in December, which I need to make this video because, yeah, like, you guys need to understand that that curve that they show you is not always accurate. And I think it's really important to understand when you're homesick and when it's just normal exchange emotions, and when you're like really depressed and anxious and you need to go home, because they're two different things. And in training, you don't really talk about like actually needing to go home and like what that actually feels like, because I thought I was crazy. If I didn't have my friend Ethan, like, I would actually think I was insane. So Ethan is my exchange friend from California. We met in Tropea because he watched one of my YouTube videos, so we just like started bonding, and then I added him on Snapchat, and then we just became like really great friends. Ethan was the only person on exchange who actually like understood what I was going through, and we really like connected because he felt exactly how I did, and we were both really depressed, really anxious, and no one else felt like that except us. And I actually think I would have gone crazy if it wasn't for Ethan, because like, it was more than homesickness. I didn't have homesickness. I was actually afraid to go home because I thought like home would be 10 times worse than Italy. I was making home out to be like a way worse place than Italy was. So I felt extremely, extremely trapped starting in December. So beginning of December, like, Ethan and I are talking, and then, you know, as December progresses, I'm starting to feel like a little bit better. And then Ethan texts me and is like, hey, I'm going home on December 20th. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, okay, good for you. Like, I'm really, really happy. We both talked about going home, and in the beginning of December, I was so anxious. I was like, sure I was gonna go home. So when Ethan texted me that he was going home on December 20th, I was like, oh my God, like, I need to go home. I need to go home, basically. And no, I didn't go home because Ethan went home, but it was just like, we really felt each other on every single thing that was wrong. We're like very similar. Like, everything that I was thinking, he was also thinking. So I just kind of felt like we had very, very similar situations. That happened at the end of December. But then Christmas came, and they say Christmas you're supposed to be like the most depressed. I was so happy at Christmas. Like, Christmas was amazing. I had all of my host family's like family and friends, and it was so exciting. Christmas time was the best. And then New Year's, there was a huge party. It was so fun with all my classmates. And then starting in the new year, I switched host families and I switched classes. So everything was like amazing. It was all new, everything. My life was going really, really well. And that's why you saw a really upbeat, happy Callan in my January reflection video, because January was a great month. I had all of these changes to distract me from how I actually felt at the beginning of December. I wrote a monthly report to the people in my district back home, and I was like, everything's amazing. I love my life. Life is good. You can watch that video. It's on my channel. And I was like so happy. And then February, and February. All of the anxiety that I had at the end of November and the end of December, and just extreme depression, loneliness, that all came back full force in February. I just couldn't go to school, I couldn't think, I couldn't focus, I couldn't do anything. I was not happy. I cried every single day. I cried because I didn't want to go home. I cried because I was there. I cried because I felt like I couldn't go anywhere. Those couple weeks were insane in February. They were just insane. And I was going to school Monday through Saturday, completely destimulating, 5 hours every single day. And like, it's just, I had friends, I had amazing host families, I had amazing experiences, but I was not happy. I had an amazing trip to Rome, but I wasn't happy. I had an amazing trip to Florence, but I wasn't happy. I didn't know what was wrong with me. Like, I was there standing right next to the Colosseum, and I like am not happy, and I have to pretend that I'm happy, and I have to pretend that I enjoy this stuff, and like I wasn't. And like, I'm in Italy, like I'm in like the coolest places. I'm walking through the Uffizi and I want to cry. Like, there was no distraction. It was all in my head all the time, 24/7, anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. And like, when you're in these places like Rome, Florence, and you feel like you should be so happy and you're not, it's like, it's just like you feel insane. Like, everyone else in your host family is like having a great time and you are so deeply uncontent. And then what happened is me and my best friend Sophia went on a trip to Venice. And Sophia is my friend from Finland. I'm sure you guys probably know her from like my Instagram posts and everything. She was like my best friend. And so we went on a little day trip to Venice, and let's just say that was the best day of my entire life. I came home that night from Venice, and on the train home I was bawling my eyes out, like so emotional on my way home from Venice. And I'm like, Kellen, this was the best day of your life, why are you crying? And I just thought about it, and I was like, I can't go back to my daily life. Like, I can't go to school 5 days a week, no, 6 days a week. I can't go to school 6 days a week, pretend I'm okay, and like I'm not okay. And I kind of, maybe because I hadn't felt like happiness in a really long time, I had never felt as happy as I was in Venice on my entire exchange. We went to Venice maybe on like February, like early February, and then on the train home I'm like, whoa, I'm so sad. Like, I'm really sad here, really sad, because you don't realize it, and everyone is telling you, oh, you're homesick, you're homesick, you're not, you're fine, these are exchange emotions. But it was like mid to end February and I was still so depressed, and I was like, what's happening? This isn't normal. Venice made me realize what happiness actually is, and going back to my daily life, I mean, I was terrified. Like, I had so much anxiety, and that was when I was like, okay, I'm coming home. I'm coming home. And if you guys know me, I'm a very extreme person. When I decide something for myself, I'm mature enough to make that decision and to get on with it. And so like, having other people to go through, having supervisors, having tutors, having parents, I'm not used to that, you guys. I'm a very independent person. I do everything alone. Of course, people think it's out of nowhere because, you know, look at me. I'm like happy-go-lucky Cal McDonough. I'm having a wonderful exchange. I'm like poster child for Rotary. And then like, I have to write all of these emails about how I'm so depressed and how I want to come home. And like, it's just a lot. Like, when you make a decision for yourself and then you have to explain it to people, and I knew I had to do that. I mean, that's what Rotary is. There are adults who are in charge of me, who I have to like explain things to, but I realized never again, because I'm too independent for that. I can't have people rely on me, and I can't have people like need me to project a certain image or be a certain person. It drives me insane, and I can't do it. So now I want to go into kind of like why I think I came home and why I was so depressed and why it didn't work for me. First of all, my language skills were worse than any other exchange student I had met. I think part of it was speaking in English with my first host family. I was with them until the end of December, so I think that really like had an effect on me. But then again, I was speaking Italian in school. I was going to regular Italian classes. So my language was getting better, but I was still so much worse than everyone else. And I I didn't really know why. My guess is that speaking English in my first host family really slowed me down, and I tried to ask them to speak Italian with me, but it was like too difficult, and it was easier for them to speak English to me, which I totally understand. It was their first time hosting, but still, like, if you're hosting, like, speak in the language. And I was watching Italian television, I was like reading Italian books, I was doing everything I could, trust me, and my language was significantly worse than everyone else's. So yeah, that was a problem. And then therefore, in turn, that language barrier made school so much harder. I mean, like, I don't understand why they put exchange students in Liceo Linguistico, because you can't sit through Russian, German, French in Italian when you've never studied these languages. It's like, it was uncomprehendable to me. It was so destimulating. I had to go Monday through Saturday from 8 to 1 every single day. That's 5 hours of your life that is just, like, what are you doing? And I felt terrible. I felt like I would rather do volunteer work or like be productive or do something, especially because I'm graduated from high school. There is such an expectation when you go to Europe, and me and my friends talk about this all the time. European countries, if you're from America, tend to be the hardest countries to adapt to. I think if I were to go to like a country in South America, I would just get more from that experience. Europe is more similar to America, and it's also like a lot different in ways that I was not ready for. The reason exchange didn't work for me is because I was looking for this amazing like cultural experience that would like really change me as a person and really like affect me deeply, and I was looking for this kind of like into the wild, like adventure type you know, exchange, which I feel like a lot of people expect when they go on exchange. But then, you know, I got Italy as a country and I was so excited, but the reality of going to Italy was that it was more, you know, conservative people, more social constructs that I was trying to get away from. You know, the idea that everyone has to like dress a certain way or, you know, portray themselves in a certain way, gender roles, and, you know, all of those social constructs that I was running away from in America. I realized Europe is only like more full of those social constructs. You know, like in America, you can go to the store in your pajamas, you can like do whatever you want. You can just like be your own person and do whatever you want. Whereas I found in Italy, everyone kind of dressed the same. It's a little bit more conservative in Europe, and America is obviously like more wild, a little bit more free, you know? It's like, it sounds like cliche and really stupid, but it's very true. And I mean, I was running away from things in America like that. I wanted to go on like a crazy adventure, you know? And I just got more of the social constructs that I don't like. I felt like a lot of people in Italy were a bit pretentious about America, which, I mean, I get it. Like, I understand where that comes from. But, I mean, those are all ideas and, like, societal things that I was running from. I wanted to be more in nature. I wanted to have, like, a real, like, spiritual experience. The way that I looked at Europe as an American, like, going to Europe, I was like, why would I go anywhere else? Oh my gosh, Europe. Like, you know what I mean? It was daily life. So it was hard and it was lonely and depressing. And yes, I had friends, you know, yes, I had amazing people. I would go out. My life seemed really great, but I was really unhappy. And so if I could do it over again, I would go to a South American country 100%. Anyways, regardless of all of that, I think it's really important to understand what's normal and what's not. You know, what a normal exchange is and what a non-normal exchange is, abnormal exchanges. I definitely felt guilty. I felt so guilty. Here I am in Rome and in Florence and in Venice, and, you know, like, I'm standing in history, these amazing, wonderful, beautiful places, and I feel nothing. I feel nothing. And trust me, I felt guilty. You know, like going to school every morning and on the cute little, you know, cobble streets, and like, everything that I saw, I was not enjoying, and I felt guilty. And in that way, I felt like exchange and travel in general is a lot about materialism in a metaphorical sense. What I mean by that is like, you know, just because I was standing in front of the Colosseum or at some like bougie, you know, espresso cafe in Florence didn't mean that I was getting feelings from that stuff. You know, like, my sister would call me and be like, Callan, I want your life so badly, and yet you're so miserable. And like, yeah, because, you know, it's the same thing. What I meant by that metaphor is like, if you buy a handbag or you buy a car or you buy shoes, you expect feelings from those things, and feelings aren't guaranteed with those items. This is why I detest materialism, and I also kind of detest touristic travel, because you're not guaranteed feelings just going to places. I think it's much more meaningful to go through some, you know, hike in an ancient forest or on a spiritual quest. I think like that's so much more meaningful than going to like, you know, some bougie cafe or like, you know what I mean? Like, I think you expect feelings from certain things, and I expected feelings from Italy. I expected feelings from, you know, the beauty that I saw, the amazing art, the amazing people, the amazing Italian culture. I expected like to be happy from that, and oh my gosh, the food, everything. Like, Italy is an amazing country. I love Italy, but I was expecting to be happy and I wasn't. And, you know, it's like, it's difficult for me. And I do think that like needing to come home is quite rare. You know, Ethan and I had to come home, but overall, like, I don't think many people come home. I know most people who went to Italy, even from America, had amazing experiences and like love it, and, you know, wouldn't want to trade it for anything. And I think like that's pretty normal. Having an amazing exchange is so much more normal than having a bad one, you know? And most people get sent home. Most people don't actually decide to go home. So Ethan and I were like a different kind of people, I think more susceptible to being depressed, and also like being in Italy didn't really help us. I think we both kind of went through like similar things. Overall, exchange is amazing and you can have an amazing experience, but I just didn't, because again, you know, you can't expect feelings. You can't, just because you're standing in the center of, you know, culture and you're in this amazing place, like, you can't expect to be happy from that in the same way you can't expect to be happy from buying a pair of shoes. You know, I detest both of those ideas. So knowing that and having that in the back of your head will save you a lot of money and a lot of false expectations. You know, going like on vacation somewhere doesn't immediately make you happy. You know, we're all just doing things in life trying to chase different feelings, but that doesn't actually mean that we're gonna get those feelings or that we're gonna be rewarded with those feelings. You know, I thought exchange would give me all of these amazing feelings, and it definitely gave me life lessons, but in an inverted way of kind of like what I don't want. And so, you know, I think like it's good to know that, and it's good to know that not everything is going to be guaranteed to make you happy. And that is really an important lesson, a valuable lesson that I cannot explain enough. You know, exchange also taught me that, you know, where you are is very important, and just being where you are. You know, I'm in Michigan, I'm here. You have such a sense of purpose, and that I would have never gotten without exchange. Like, now I really, really appreciate where I am and what I'm doing in the present moment. You know, and I would have never had that if I didn't go on exchange and if I didn't have a bad experience. So, you know, I learned so much from this bad experience. I think it was still 100% worth it. I think exchange is always worth it. Whether you come home or whether you stay, that's up to you. But what I'm saying is that no matter what, just going is always going to be worth it. I definitely recommend that you do an exchange here. I think it's a phenomenal program, but you know, for Ethan and I, it wasn't right. For a lot of you, it's going to be amazing and the best year of your life. But for us, it wasn't right. And if you're on exchange right now, I just want you to know what's normal and what's not. I don't think you should be pushed completely beyond your, you know, mental stability, I think. And I never had anyone to tell me this. If you go on YouTube and you type in like coming home, it's all people like, I don't think you should come home, you're like, you know, gonna disappoint everyone, and it's very negative. And I just want you to know that you always have an option, and you always have a positive option, and you can do whatever the hell you want, and no one can tell you otherwise, and you do you, you know? Like, I need you guys to know that. So yeah, I'm home, I'm gonna be doing a lot of great videos. I'm feeling okay, I'm feeling good. Like, I definitely have some stuff to work through, but I just want you to know that there's such a difference between, you know, having normal homesickness and normal negative feelings and feeling extremely, extremely depressed and anxious. And, you know, figure it out, because you need to just do what's right for you. And no one tells you that, and it's so sad. So I had to figure it out for myself. Luckily, I'm a strong person, so I could do that, but I know for a lot of people it's different. And it's not that big a deal. I know this video was like so long and whatever, but like, you're here, you're there, you're anywhere. Life is life, things move, things go on. It's just a year. It's not that big of a deal. If you want to come home, you come home. If you want to stay, you want to stay. Nothing is so, you know, dramatic. It's just, this is life. This is your life. This is your life. After going through something like Italy, you know that there's nowhere else you'd rather be. And that's such a good life lesson, you know, and it's good to know that. Because if you have in your mind that the rest of the world is this beautiful, amazing place, which it is, but in moderation, you know, you as a human being are meant to experience life through your own backyard. You're meant to make conclusions about what it means to feel alive through your own mind, your own perception, your own style, your own life. That's why people say success doesn't change you, and money doesn't change you, and traveling to these amazing places doesn't necessarily change you. All of those things obviously change you, but they're not, you know what I mean? Like, if saying success had no impact on me, that's clearly false. Saying traveling has no impact on you, clearly false, or buying that bag or whatever. But these are things that, you know, obviously they change you a little bit, but when people say like, you know, success didn't change me or traveling didn't change me, it's a deeper sense of like, I am still the same, my problems are still the same, and I am still unhappy, and I'm still a human. You know, you just take all these little things that people say and put them together, and it actually like helps you live a really great life. Like when people say it's the small things, or, you know, success and money isn't like everything. Like, those little things that are in your mind, those are actually true, and you should like really appreciate those. But I get it, they're so impossible to like actually appreciate unless you feel them. So for me, like going to Italy, I definitely felt it. Because life is about feelings. You're always chasing feelings. That's what we're all going after, you know? I think like there's such a difference between expecting feelings and then feeling feelings. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal. You do what you want to do, and, you know, just remember that you as a person are meant to experience as great a life as anyone else on this planet. You have the ability to experience all of the feelings that come along with being a human being, no matter who you are, where you are, what you're doing, you know? Your soul is your soul, and your ability to feel is your ability to feel. In a world of social media and envy and jealousy for materialistic things such as beauty or, you know, location or, you know, career even, you're not meant to do everything. You can do anything, but you're not meant to do everything. And you're meant to experience life through whatever corner of the world that you're in. So don't forget that. You are you for a reason, and you have the ability to experience what everyone else is experiencing, you know? It's just feelings. It's just feelings. Your life is just feelings. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to be anyone. You don't have to post certain photos. you are you, and you have the ability to do whatever you want through whatever means. I learned a lot on exchange, but in a non-traditional sense, and I'm really grateful for that. So yeah, I guess I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it was super long, very sorry about that, but I guess just do what's right for you, really, and think about it a lot, and, you know, be sure. And if you want to make a decision, you have every right to make a decision. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will be making a lot of new videos pretty shortly, so I know it's been like a long time since I posted a video, but yeah, I'll be back soon, and I have been talking forever, but thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk to you in my next video. Bye!